Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new around here, hey, I'm Connelly. On this channel, we talk about all things parenthood, lifestyle, pregnancy, baby. Right now, most of you know I have a 3-week-old Azura. I just gave birth 3 weeks ago. Time has flown by, kind of. For those of you who have babies, you know what I mean when I say kind of. But this is my 3-week update. If you're not already, please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm and I appreciate it. But yes, Azura right now is sleeping, so I'm gonna let her sleep. She is such a sleepy baby compared to my first baby, Evangelina. They're 19 months apart and Ava never slept. And if she did, it would take like an hour to get her down, where you could like actually set her down and then she'd sleep for half an hour. It was like, I couldn't get anything. I couldn't even shower. There were so many times where I only had one leg shaven because I had to like run out of the shower because she was freaking out. So this baby Azura is completely different. So I've learned that already. So she's napping. I'm going to encourage that, keep her napping, but hopefully she'll make an appearance at some point during this video. But yeah, so we had the birth. Check out the birth vlog. I'll post that below, and then the actual delivery story. Like, things got so out of hand that we couldn't really film as much as we wanted to during the actual labor part. So I give a whole explanation of the story as well. Check that out. I'll link it below. But we did have some things kind of go wrong, like Azura's cord snapped. So the cord to the placenta snapped when, or her umbilical cord basically, when they handed her to me when she was born, it just snapped. And so she lost a little bit of blood. Like, thank goodness the midwife clamped it really quick because it could have been a lot worse, but Azura lost a little bit of blood. So we left the hospital the day after she was born with COVID-19. They're kind of trying to get people out of the hospital and just like away from germs as soon as possible, especially with like a brand new little baby with no immune system built up yet. So we leave the hospital and we have to go back to the doctor right away to check her hemoglobin and make sure that she was able to get that back up. At first, she couldn't keep her temperature up. It was a little bit lower than normal, so they just wanted to check, and it was. So it did go up, thank goodness. Her bilirubin was good. She started to look jaundiced, so we had to check that, but it was good. And yeah, like I said, she was very, very sleepy. So that concerned me actually, because I was like, is she okay? Like the blood thing and whatever Ava, you know, my experience with Ava was so different. My mom was like, this is normal. Like, just be thankful. I was like, oh, I'm thankful. I just wasn't expecting that. Like, it's great. It's amazing. This is exactly what you want. You can actually like set her down and she'll keep sleeping. Like, thank you. But I just wasn't used to it. I thought something might be wrong. If that gives you any indication of what my first experience was like with Evangelina. So we came home right away and I woke up in the middle of the night, like the first night, with pain in my left calf. I was like, what is this? So I Google it. And of course, the first thing that comes up is after you have a baby, you can get a blood clot in your calf. And it's usually the left calf because of whatever reason and this and that. So I had that in my head and I was just paranoid and being a hypochondriac. Called the midwife and they were like, that can happen after birth, you know, just stretch it and see if it goes away. And, you know, you had an epidural, so, you know, things can get sore from not moving. I was like, okay, whatever. So it still hurts. Like, I didn't pull it. It felt like I pulled it. It was a real dull, light pain, like in the middle of my calf. So the next day I'm like, this is still here. I know I'm being pesky, but I just like have it in my mind that it could be a clot. Like, can we just check it out, please? For peace of mind. And they're like, okay, fine. Like, it's probably nothing, but fine. So I go in. They were like, you have to go back to the hospital and have an ultrasound. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So we go back to the hospital and it is a clot. Like, right away, the ultrasound tech was like, oh, yep, there's a clot. There's a clot. So I was there with Mick, my husband, and the baby Azura, and then my mom had Evangelina at home. So because we had to go from Azura's doctor appointment to my doctor appointment. And so the only way to get like administered into the hospital was to sit in the ER. So I had to bring my 3-day-old Azura into the ER and wait. And the wait time was 4 hours. It was like, you guys, we already know, like it's already diagnosed. Like we know what the problem is. Why do we have to be triaged through the ER? Can't you just like send me up or do whatever you have to do? I was so horrified because there were potentially COVID people, like people with COVID symptoms in the ER. I didn't want to like expose Azura to that, let alone any other germs in the ER, and especially to be there for 4 hours. I was like, this is horrible. They were like, nope, this is like how you have to do it. So that was a nightmare. And then we had to go in, and then they said, based on the situation, you just gave birth, so you're bleeding, you know, you have postpartum bleeding. Because of this clot, we have to put you on blood thinners. So because of the postpartum bleeding mixed with the blood thinners, like we could cause a lot more to bleed out. So we need to monitor you. So you actually have to stay at the hospital overnight. And I was like, again? And my biggest concern was they weren't allowing guests because of COVID-19, which means I couldn't have my 3-day-old with me, which, oh, there's Azura. 1 second. Okay, so we had a little intermission. Fed Azura, got her up. This is Azura, you guys. Hi. Oh, you're making baby noises. That's pretty cute. Pretty cute. She's 3 weeks old and 1 day. Hi. And I don't know if you can tell, but in some light her hair looks super red. Here it looks kind of brown. But I'm still just like shocked that she has red hair because no one in my family does. It's just like a fun little surprise. You are your own little unique person and we love it. So she's just gonna be with us during the video because if I put her back down, she's gonna cry. So yeah, I love you. I love you. I love you. So yes, I didn't want to go into the hospital without her. I was already worried about her health. She was only 3 days old and I was nursing. So like to have to try to pump there, have someone pick it up, bring it to her, like that wasn't gonna work. And so basically I had to get them to have the President of the United States sign off that she could come with me as a guest into the hospital, and I didn't know how many nights I was going to be there. So the agreement we made was that Mick would come too so that he could take care of her, Azura, while the hospital nurses and doctors and stuff were taking care of me. So then Mick had to stay. So I was just shocked. I thought it was gonna be like a regular ultrasound. You just like go and then like they call you in the next day and tell you how the results went. Like I kind of thought I was being a hypochondriac about the whole blood clot thing. I never thought. Oh my. I never thought it was actually gonna be a clot. And the reason I had to like stay there was because they can be deadly if they break off. They can go to your lungs, heart, brain, you know, cause pulmonary embolism, stroke, heart attack, I think, you know, like it can just be deadly. So they had to deal with it right away. Are you okay, honey? Aww. So anyway, we stayed there one night and ended up being able to go home late the next day. Thank goodness they caught it. Thank goodness it didn't kill me. Thank goodness my mom was able to stay the night with Evangelina, like unplanned. So lots of lucky things, but it was just so nerve-wracking to have to go back to the hospital and do the whole thing and be away from Ava again. And yes, so there was that. And then the other update was that we, in order to get the blood thinner right, we had to like tweak it and keep taking my blood. So until you get the blood thinner pills right, you have to administer shots into your own stomach. So I have had to do that for almost this full 3 weeks. I just stopped yesterday because my blood finally got in the right range. So that's been a bummer. The blood thinners make you bruise like crazy. So I have like big bruises all over my stomach and my arms from like where they have to do the IV. Oh, that's the other thing. They've had to take my blood every day draw my blood every day to check where my levels are. So again, just like more being away from the babies and stuff, but luckily I can just do that up the road. I don't have to go to the hospital. So then, there's more. I started getting a headache that didn't go away for 6 days. So I Google it. And of course, when you're on blood thinners, you can have like internal bleeding. So I thought it was a brain bleed basically. So I had that in my head. And the doctor was like, well, you're postpartum. You normally never have headaches. You know, you're on the blood thinners. It's probably a migraine or a tension headache, but just to be safe, we should do an MRI. So we did the brain scan and it came back normal, thank goodness. So not a brain bleed, but I just felt better having that done. You guys are gonna think I'm a hypochondriac, but like after the blood clot being right about that, I feel like I am gonna be paranoid for a long time. So that was good that was negative. I still have the headache though. And then I have a clogged duct that just showed up yesterday, right at the 3-week mark. And my friend said that's when hers got clogged, and that's when one of her friends also got clogged. It was right at the 3-week mark, so keep an eye out for that. I did everything. It was still clogged. I did the massaging, hot bath, nursing, pumping. Nothing worked until I switched positions. So like normally I just nurse like the regular way, but I did the football hold. So like I think she was missing like sucking out part. I don't think it was like reaching that part, so I like positioned her differently, and then she could get like a direct suction from the area that was clogged. So, but if that ever happens to anyone, try a new nursing position. So yes, so here she is. She's big. When we went to the doctors, she had been gaining like 2 ounces a day, which is almost unheard of. Like that's very on like the very high end. So good job baby drinking, good job me nursing. We're not really sleeping through the night. That's not expected. She's giving us good little stretches though, like 2.5, 3 hours. I really want to get to the 5-hour mark because I feel like that's my bare minimum. I need like chunks of sleep. That'll probably help with the headaches if I can get that. My doctor was like, your husband needs to help. Like you need to check into a hotel if like nothing else, like give him the baby. So still working on convincing him of that, but yeah. Azura's back asleep. Like, do you see what I mean when I say she's just like a sleepy baby? When we brought Ava, even in the hospital with Ava, we were taking pictures of her and she was like looking in the camera, like, what is that? And when they put Ava on my chest, she like lifted her head and looked at me. Like she's just very alert. This baby is like very content and just could like sleep. Oh, look at her. She's so cute. Oh, she's so cute. Can they see you? Also, here's my 3-week postpartum stomach. We're still have a ways to go with my uterus, like going back down to size, but also my like cutting more weight. Still have a little ways to go, which is expected, of course. But yeah, that is my 3-week update. It's been a wild ride. I'm just like so thrilled to have everything behind us now and just like have a great maternity leave, enjoy my baby, get to know her. She's getting so big already. I wish I had a scale and I could tell you how much she weighed. But yeah, all right, thanks so much for watching. If you're not already, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.